We often get the question, what are the tools that you recommend for online learning? And we usually give the disappointing answer that we can't really recommend tools without first having a discussion about the learning outcomes that you are trying to achieve. So that said, you know what your learning outcomes are. We can show you a little bit about how we investigate different tools. And one of the ways of doing that is checking the back of the card on the Trello board, and the other way to do that is by checking out the e-learning toolkit as a starter for looking at the tools that are available. You may find, or we find, that it's really difficult to guide people into thinking about here are some tools that you should use because it really depends on the learning outcomes and the activity that you're trying to do. So looking at my Trello board once again, I'm going to focus on this discussion question that I usually used to do in class. What are challenges associated with using instrumental temperature records? So if I click on that card, I can see on the back there's some ideas for asynchronous and synchronous discussion methods. Asynchronous ones being OWL discussion forum, VoiceThread, or synchronous ones being Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate. So what I'm going to do is now use another tool in thinking about discussion, which is the e-learning toolkit. So here we are at the e-learning toolkit. It can be used in a number of different ways. I'll show you a few different ways to use it, and then it's up to you to kind of explore based on what you're trying to achieve in your course. So we just talked about discussion. So I'm going to go to achieve specific outcomes, and I want students to discuss, so I'm really thinking about student outcomes. And I'm going to look under I want them to communicate. That's what discussion will fall under, but you'll see that there's lots of other outcomes that are listed here as well. So under communicate, there's a lot of different forms of communication. I'm going to discussion tools, and I can see that there's 4 tools listed here. The ones with the little purple W means they are institutionally supported at Western. I'm going to focus my attention on those institutionally supported tools because I know that the folks at WTS are more likely to have experience with those tools and can provide me some help if I need it. And also, I know that I'm asking students to engage with a tool that's centrally supported and they might already have some experience with, rather than a brand new tool. Okay, so we have forums and VoiceThread. Let's check out VoiceThread. So there's a little description of VoiceThread you can read about. You can see the purpose and how to use it. Now, this is a fairly flexible tool. It indicates here that it's centrally supported. And then the really exciting thing is that there's an evaluation of different components of tool evaluation. So we have the functionality, accessibility, technical aspects, mobile design, usage and account setup, social presence, instructor presence, and cognitive presence. So you can actually look at any one of these aspects and read about the rating that VoiceThread has on each of these aspects, including a little star rating as well. So you can investigate how each of these tools has been rated on the 8 kind of criteria that are listed on the rubric. You can also check any security and privacy flags, or head to the e-learning toolkit evaluation to see how they've actually been rated. So if you head to the bottom, there's a PDF. So the full ratings are listed here. This is kind of an extra piece. You can just stick to the ratings that are on the main page. So I might just decide that after seeing this VoiceThread review that it is what I'm looking for. I can also compare discussion tools. So I'm going to go to compare e-learning tools, and I would want to read the main tools that I'm thinking about and whether they meet the outcomes that I have in mind. But you can also have an at-a-glance chance to compare tools by going to, for example, discussion tools in this case, and reviewing those different aspects here of each tool. My preferred way of using this site is to go to the student outcomes or instructor outcomes page, being what you want to achieve or what you want the students to be able to know, do, or value by the end of the course. But you can also go to Find eLearning Tools and look at all centrally supported tools, for example, just to get the full list of tools. And then you might say, I hadn't actually thought of the fact that there is a messages tool right within OWL, I'm going to investigate that. Or I know I want to use tests and quizzes. What are the capabilities of that? And each one takes you to a page that evaluates that tool.